afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the likes, the follows, the shares. Thank you for coming by last night. I did enjoy doing those couple readings to help you guys out. So today we're going to go out of the Keymaster Tarot deck, see what message that they have for everybody. So we'll call in our angels, our ancestors, and our guides. See what kind of message they have. We're actually going to go through here real quick. Do a little quick cleanup inside of the deck. I do want to thank everybody for their time yesterday. It was a very good conversation that we had about how sometimes when you're going through the spiritual journey, you get friends and then you lose friends. You get friends and then you lose friends. So it's kind of interesting how that stuff plays out. Just because sometimes the groups you start out in or the people that wake you up aren't always the people you're meant to stay with or be with, you know. So you kind of have to learn discernment as you're going through this stuff, because you know, a lot of times when we come in, we think we've got good discernment, but then we actually kind of learn that we didn't have the best discernment when we were finding these people or the people that came to find us. We also have to thank the people that did help you or did wake you up, you know, because without them you would be stuck in the same loop or the same path or the same pattern that you're on. So with some of those people coming into play, sometimes they're actually there to help you when you think about this stuff. It's not always about the bad or the evil or the ill intent that they had, but without those people getting you going or getting you walking on that path, you probably wouldn't be where you are at this point inside of your journey. So you do have to thank them in certain ways. It's like a forgive and forget type scenario. You know, people with water signs, we're really good at that stuff. We're very intuitive about, you know, thanking people for what they've given us and being able to walk away without worrying about it. So just a quick little message inside of there. Just because we've all had it happen, we're seeing it go on inside of there, which is really bad, you know, because you figure the spiritual community is one of those communities that should really be banding together to help everybody, but everybody's a different part of it. Some people are only meant to be there for a season. Some people are only there for a reason. So when you're going through these things, and you kind of come to understand that, but pretty soon you end up finding what you call your soul tribe, or your people that you're supposed to be with, the people that actually resonate, the people that move up and move on, the people that bring more goodness into your life. So you have to remember they are out there and they are going to be around. You just have to discern where they are, who they are, and how they're going to come into your life and how they're going to help change your life. So it's kind of strange to think about, just because a lot of us get caught up in this wanting to be friends, wanting to be with this person, but does the people really actually have your best intentions in mind? When you have nothing but goodness to give out to other people, are they returning the same kind of goodness back to you? I guess I really don't need the cards for this one, just because it's kind of a message that's coming at me at this point. But it just brings me back to the discussion that we were having last night on how different people actually know some of the people that you know, or there are other people that are fresh into the journey and they're kind of trying to find their tribe too, or where they fit into this whole scenario. So just something to think about when you're going through this stuff, and as you're slowly waking yourself up, as you're coming into being, as you're discovering your powers too. Remember, not everybody needs to know everything about you. You know, if your gifts and stuff like that, but they don't need to know, you don't need to be sharing your birth date and giving them your star charts and things like that, because you have people out there that literally will try and destiny swap. They'll try and take what blessings are coming your way and bring them into themselves. So those are all the different things you kind of have to watch out for, the things you have to look into. Because sometimes you don't always end up with the greatest people on the front or the start. Ooh, see, somebody's trying to get me to shut up. I'm trying to close my throat out because I'm hitting a point. Some people even that were, you're so close to or so tied to, you're also calling them brother and sister, and some of the people were like in a past life. You know, they probably were connected to you in that way, shape, or form. Bearing on how you look at things, if you believe in reincarnation and that you've been doing the same things over and over again, just in different lifetimes, different timelines, different places. So, a little tidbit really fast, and we'll give you guys a couple cards here just to finish off the conversation with. Just stuff to think about as you guys are going through this stuff, and as you're waking up, and as you're moving out of the transitions from the 3 to the 4D, 4 to 5. You know, sometimes as you move up and move on, your vibration gets brighter and higher, and other people aren't meant to move with you. They're actually meant to stay where they're meant to stay because they're not willing to put in the same kind of work that you're putting in. So it's just kind of interesting to think about. Let's just see if we can get a couple cards for you guys here at the very end. Get the 5 of clubs. So that's that understanding of how things work or how things are going to go, what we need to do. I really do love this deck. It's a beautiful deck. I don't really use it nearly enough as I should. Getting a lot of wands, so there's a lot of people that are in mist or thinking about things, wanting to change what they're doing, change their ways. You know, since we got the 4 and the 5 of wands, let's just kind of leave it at that because I had a little bit of a message at the beginning. But let's just read really quick inside of the book here on the wands. So they're a fire character, transformation, and the matters of energy, right? So the sun is a fire and the great planet, the skies are warm and burning. A new spirit in the wound was born, inspiring the power and the helpless, the alternatives, the battles, and one another's powers. Like we were just talking about, right? So, when we're talking about this, we got the 5 first. So together with other people, we can achieve more. For all to pull in the same direction, but we need a clear idea and binding rules and goals. So that kind of fits what we're talking about, right? How people come together with that writing, so they bind together. And then the 4 wands is to say goodbye. Life is still a lot of plans for you. Walk in forgiveness. Only your path leads to good days. Leaving the good days behind you and crossing a bridge into uncharted territories. So, when you're looking at this one, so you're finding new groups to be with, but as you're finding new groups to be with, you also have to say goodbye to the old ways, the old days, the old past, the old ways of thinking. Kind of speaks to what we were talking about, right? As we were changing everything around, as we were exploring this new path of what was going on, we had to leave behind some of those old things that weren't meant to be with us or weren't meant to grow with us. That's why I said some people are here for a season and some people are here for a reason. The people that are here for a reason were to help wake you up. That's why they came into your lives at the time when they did. But sometimes you have to leave those people behind in the past, even though they brought you some good days and some good times, but there's a new path for you to go and walk and meet new people. So, kind of leave that one there for you guys. But I want to thank you guys for everything. Nala wants to thank you guys for everything as she sits here laying on the table with us, enjoying this beautiful sunshine. And I want to thank you guys for the likes and the shares once again, and book a reading with me. I do past life regressions, I do shadow reading, I do basically any kind of readings that you guys are looking for. So come on in and see me. Have a great day.